All right, so let's see how this looks and we'll get going. Let me try one thing here. And all right, so good evening, everyone. Super excited for you to be joining us tonight and just spending a little time learning how to reduce inflammation, cellular inflammation, increase cellular healing, learning really how to biohack your body. So if you've never seen that word before, you're definitely going to learn what that means in the next 30 minutes. And so my name is Melody Rodarte. I am a physician in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and I am double boarded in obesity medicine and internal medicine. And I also have some certifications in wound care, hyperbaric medicine, and medical aesthetics. And what that all means is I really enjoy taking care of the whole person. I have wanted to be a physician since I was 5 years old. And I chose the path of internal medicine specifically to help adults. I enjoy empowering and having conversations with my patients and really keeping them healthy and out of the doctor's office. So if you've never heard that before, I'm going to encourage you to team up with practitioners who have that same mindset. We want to slow down the aging process. We want to be able to not let diseases progress. We want to live our best selves. And so over the next 30 minutes, I would love to share with you what I am very passionate about. I was introduced to this about almost 5 years ago. In September, it'll be 5 years. And it has really changed the way I think about medicine and how I myself am slowing down the aging process. I was introduced to this because I was searching for something to help my son out. He has an autoimmune disease called alopecia totalis, where he lost all of his hair, his eyelashes, and his eyebrows right before kindergarten. And I was a mom on a mission to figure out what else I could do to help him, because we had good nutrition at home, grew up with the Mediterranean diet. I had done wound care, and so I had him on certain supplements, and I had done it. So I had him on, certain things that I thought should be making a huge difference, and we were getting stuck. And so I feel very blessed that someone introduced me to this pathway, and I'm going to introduce you to it tonight. And so, like everything else in medicine, I tell everybody my goal is to educate you, and then you are to choose what you want to incorporate into your life. And now you'll have the education to make those decisions. So with that, let's get started. And so that first word I told you, I was going to tell you about is biohacking. And it's so taking control of a complex system. Our bodies are very complex, but you can break it down into some simple parts and take control of those parts in order to have your best outcome. And so what we're really wanting to do is use nutrigenomics to help that out. And so nutrigenomics is using nutrition to enhance gene expression. And, Hippocrates was right so many years ago, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. It's so important what our nutrition is. It does help our genes turn on and turn off. And as I was stating a little bit earlier, we want a personalized health market. I myself see a chiropractor. I see an acupuncturist. I get massage. I team up with my healthcare team in order to have my best outcome, because I want to slow down that aging process. I want to increase my lifespan. And so again, I'm encouraging you to do that as well. It is a huge market, and you need to know how to navigate through it as well. So what is happening to our bodies on a daily basis is it's trying to be hijacked, whether it's from emotional stressors, physical stressors, biochemical stressors, toxins, EMFs, and allergies. It's just crazy what is out there. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to biohack it. We want to take control of our own biology. We want to optimize our genetic potential. We want to become the best version of ourselves, and that's through using nutrigenomics. So, again, another term that I want to explain is oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is the natural wear and tear and breakdown that's happening in all of our cells as we grow older, and it's happening to innate objects. A perfect picture of this is this apple that you see on the left-hand side. This apple, when you cut it in half and oxygen is hitting that pulp and free radicals are being released, it is starting to age or brown. And it didn't matter if this apple was frozen for a year and then made it to the shelf of Walmart, or if you grew it in your backyard with beautiful sunshine and soil and spoke to it, as soon as you cut it in half, it's going to start to age. And that's what's happening inside of our cells. If we cannot clean that up as we age, those processes slow down. Each cell can be affected, and each cell makes up a tissue, makes up an organ, and makes up our body. And depending on what genes you have and what genes I have, they're going to be expressed differently. And so on that right-hand side of this slide, you can see that the root cause of over 200 diseases is oxidative stress. So it affects the heart. You can have a heart attack or high blood pressure. The skin, you can have skin cancer. The kidneys, chronic kidney disease. Lungs, asthma, COPD. The brain, OCD, Alzheimer's, ADHD, the immune system. That's what was really speaking to me as I was listening to this is, so many autoimmune processes. The root is oxidative stress. So how can we reduce oxidative stress? How do we slow down the damage that's happening? So that is why I'm doing this tonight. So you have some possible ways that you can use to reduce it. So back in 2005, John Quinones was asked to go in and do a primetime investigative report on a supplement that was creating a buzz. So I'm going to let you watch about the first 5 minutes of this because it's always fun to listen to John Quinones, and it really propels where we're at now. It's the beginning of our story. And so with that, I'll let you watch it.
The following is an ABC primetime investigative report that aired in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life.
It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Dr. McCord, okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe.
You're on the big screen and the John Quiotis is on the little screen.
It is. We're very excited about it.
You just switch them over.
But very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And as decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
Come on, scoot. Yeah, there we go.
It'll be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
As it's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. And so you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. Will Protandim work on me?
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
You suggest I keep taking. And so, ancient Eastern healing and modern Western medicine may soon be working together. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks,
Even mental disease.
yes,
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression. But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. And I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. But because it's being sold as a nutritional supplement and not a drug, Protandim does not need FDA approval for safety.
So after that aired, instead of debunking the company and the product, it skyrocketed. You got to see his blood levels of oxidative stress reduce. John Quinones's reduced by 45%. And so orders just came flooding in. And unfortunately, it was a small little biotech company. They didn't have enough product. They didn't have a sales team, a sales force. And so just think about that. You know, and back in 2005, you still wanted your product when you ordered it. Think about today in Amazon Prime. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what was really neat is people were watching this and saying, what if we found a solution to reducing oxidative stress? And so multiple universities actually started to begin self-funded research using our product, using Protandim. And on this slide, you can see here that these are major universities. For me, I'm going to just make this a little personal. When I saw that ABC primetime, my jaw dropped because I thought, what if? And where I go to do my research is a place called PubMed. It is where the National Institute of Health and the National Library has all peer-reviewed and published data. And so it's pubmed.gov, and you can type in whatever you're trying to research. So 5 years ago when I heard about this, I typed in Protandim and there were 16 peer-reviewed articles for me to look at. Tonight, after this webinar, if you do go to PubMed and type it in, there are 26 peer-reviewed articles for you to look at. Some of you are going to wish you knew how to read Chinese because it feels like you're reading Chinese, and some of you are going to have your jaws drop like mine did and you went, oh my gosh, I can't wait to look at all of this research. But for those of you who don't love research, just know it's there. And the biggest thing is right there in the middle. That caught my eye initially was the American Heart Association. They put on a journal called Circulation. It's very difficult to get into this journal. And Protandim is the only branded nutraceutical prior to and since to be in a journal of this caliber by name. Okay, that's the key part. The other thing that I want you to notice on the right hand of this slide is pharmaceutical companies. They are truly in the rat race for making products that can reduce oxidative stress. And I'm going to show you a few of those in a minute. I'm going to pause for just a minute and say, any of you guys watching, if you are not muted, please mute yourself as I'm hearing some background noise. So just go down to that little icon with the microphone and please hit mute to mute yourself. So the difference that I want you to know about supplementation and activation is really watching this or looking at this slide here. So up until this point, all we knew is direct antioxidants or supplementation. You'd eat a blueberry, you'd take a vitamin E, and you neutralize one free radical, and it's one and done. So I want you to continue to eat well. That's really key. But what if you could turn on another pathway like the NRF2 pathway and release your body's own antioxidants at a rate of 1,000,000 to 1 so that they are neutralizing free radicals at that rate at 1,000,000 to 1. There's a big difference on how you can put out the fire and fires that are happening in each of our cells there. And so for me, I'd rather learn how to activate my body instead of just only supplementing it. On the bottom of the screen, you can see some of the major antioxidants that our body makes that is better than anything that we can ingest or put through an IV to help our bodies out. And so the product that you got to see, John Quinones swallow is Protandim, and there are 5 herbal ingredients in this: ashwagandha, bacopa, milk thistle, green tea, and turmeric. And some of you might be, using any of these ingredients, especially turmeric right now. Seems everybody wants to use it in their recipes. But the key is he found after Dr. Joe McCord found a blend that made it more potent than anything else that is out there. And the human study showed that we reduced oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days and up to 70% with continued use. And so the FDA actually allows us to make that statement because of that study. And the NIA is the National Institute on Aging. It is a subset of the National Institute of Health. They did a 10-year study looking at what could extend lifespan. Protandim was in the natural arm. So they had a medication arm and they had a natural supplement arm. Protandim, as well as some of the same ingredients that are in Protandim, were studied alone. And Protandim was the only natural product proven to extend lifespan. And lifespan is healthy life, okay? It's not just extending your disease span, it's extending your lifespan, healthy life. And it's because NRF2 is helping to regulate our body's own survival genes. So you're going to see a couple little symbols there on the screen. NSF is just another party that is coming in and saying what is on the label is actually what you're ingesting. That's really important. We have a lot of product control. The BSCG is Banned Substance Control Group. So athletes can use this and not worry about doping. There's only about 40 items on this list. So the fact that we are on there is definitely incredible. And then if you need another visual of why you'd like to take it in a salad, as a salad in a pill is what I like to say, is if you take any of those herbal ingredients by themselves, they're wonderful. They still have some NRF2 potential. But when you take it as Protandim, there's an 18-fold increase in the expression of our antioxidant genes. That is why we have 7 patents protecting its formulation. That is why I choose to take it as Protandim versus just trying to put this all together on my own. And this is also where we're at at this time, we are looking for things that can be a therapy as well as prevention in medicine. And what Washington State University is saying about the NRF2 pathway is that NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. They're not talking about Protandim here. They're just talking about that pathway, how incredible it is. So as I was saying in the previous slide, there are medications that are being made. Tecfidera is the first one that was released about 4 to 5 years ago, and it is the first synthetic NRF2 activator. And Biogen is the pharmaceutical company that formulated it. And they asked if they could use Protandim in their study, and you're going to notice in there that bolded area, it says, interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore may be the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. I'm thankful that they published this. Their drug is $50,000 a year. The second drug to market is edavarone, and it's for ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, and it's $150,000 a year. So there are drugs that are going to be coming out, and the difference is whether or not you want to take it as an all-natural activator, or if you want to take it as a synthetic. Whoever invited you to this, we can definitely go in more detail after this webinar. And so I want you to take the NRF2 pathway and kind of just put it on the back burner for a minute. And I want to tell you some of the other pathways that we have to help our health. And the mitochondrial health is definitely important. We're learning so much about our mitochondria. And we have an NRF1 synergizer. Unfortunately, 2 came out before 1, so you have to kind of remember it as you're learning it. And so NRF1 is to help mitochondrial dysfunction. Our mitochondria make ATP, and our mitochondria also protect our genome or our gene inside that cell. And so when there's mitochondrial dysfunction, a lot of the times we only thought of neurologic diseases. But in the past few years, we are realizing one of the things we worry about the most, cancer, is actually a mitochondrial issue first. The mitochondria is damaged. It cannot protect the genome, and then a genetic mutation occurs and cancer is born. So we are realizing that it's more than just energy, and it's more than just protecting from neurologic issues. Our mitochondria are so important. And so we have what's called Protandim NRF1 Synergizer to help our mitochondrial health. It improves our cellular energy. It improves that network from head to toe of our mitochondria talking to each other. It helps with promoting cell repair. We want mitochondria to die or undergo apoptosis if they can't repair. And so that is a quality that we really need. And NRF1 is helping that process. And we are, the biggest thing right there, you can see slowing the cellular aging by supporting chromosomal integrity. Super important, right? We want to take out the trash that builds up in the cell. We want to have good, clean energy happening inside the cell. There are these pathways that every cell has that we want to activate. And we also want a functioning gut. We are learning so much about our gut, and a lot of you might have been reading about leaky gut. It's not just about what does your stool look like, it's how are you digesting your food, how are you absorbing your nutrients, what is your immune system doing? Our immune system, 80% is starting inside that gut, and our neurotransmitters, like serotonin. So an unhappy gut makes an unhappy brain. There is such communication between the brain and the gut that we need a healthy GI system. And so we can do that through having a healthy microbiome with taking probiotics and prebiotics. So our probiotic, what makes it unique is it has BioTrek technology, and it is a patented system to show that more than 60% of the probiotic that you are taking is making it past the stomach acid. Super important because the majority of probiotics that are on the market, whether they are tablets, capsules, liquids, prescription, only 4 to 6% are making it through the stomach acid. So that is why so many companies put so many CFUs or colony forming units, because they're trying to get them through that stomach acid to survive. Where we don't have to have very many, we have 6 specific types of probiotics, and more than 60 are making it through the stomach. So we don't have to go over 6 billion. We also have Wellmune in there. And those of you who are science geeks, if you go to PubMed tonight and you type in Wellmune, you're going to see 12 review articles there for you to look at. And if you do an extended release, you'll find the other one. So there's 13 total studies. And it has shown to help with the tight junctions in the colon, staying tight, helping our white blood cells. Remember, 80% of our immune system starts in our gut. And it's a beta-glucan. And it is helping our system function properly. It is food for our probiotic. And so we're seeing a lot of great things with our probiotic, and it doesn't need to be refrigerated either. And then we have a non-fishy fish oil. That's what I love to tell people about our omega-3. I don't know about you guys, but I used to keep my fish oil in the freezer, even my prescription, because it would stink and I didn't like taking it. And that's what I'm learning, is it's had time to oxidize. So there is a better product. There are better products, and ours you can trace back to the boat, and there was no time for it to become oxidized. So this does not smell like fish oil. It does not taste like fish oil. It's wonderful. And it's jam-packed with omega-3s and omega-7s. We do not need to take omega-6s. Our diets are too high in omega-6s. So we need 3s and 7s to balance out. And omega-3s help our brain, our cardiovascular system, our skin, our immune system. And 7s are wonderful for our metabolism. And the plus sign is actually the vitamin D. And so many of us are vitamin D deficient. You don't even know it, even us that live in Arizona. And so vitamin D is very important for our metabolism, our bones, and so many other functions in our body. So when you put those core 4 products together, NRF1, NRF2, probiotic, and Omega Plus, it's called the Vitality Stack. And you can get it in bottles, or you can get it in packets, which make it really convenient for traveling. And this past year, we won the 2018 Stevie Bronze Award. And that's just incredible, as it had been less than a year for us putting the packaging together like this, and and it was in the pharmaceutical arm of this contest. So it was just wonderful for us to get that. And so I'm going to tell you just a few other products that we have. So take that NRF2 off the back burner. I'm going to tell you about a couple of the products that we put NRF2 activation in. And so we are first to market for a skincare system that is patented with NRF2 activation for every skin type. Okay, this came about because Louisiana State University was looking at skin cancers and used Protandim in their studies, and came back and said, look, we're understanding NRF2 activation from the inside out. You need to figure out a way to do activation from the outside in. Our skin is our largest organ, so we want to activate the NRF2 on our skin cells to help our cells stay healthy. And so it's a 4-step process, and we can definitely go into more detail here at a later time. We have NRF2 activation for our 4-legged friend. Vets love that it has that NASC seal of approval, that what is on the label is actually what is in the bottle. And I like to call this for our 4-legged friends, and you decide which 4-legged friend you want to give this to. But the study was done in dogs, and it was, you couldn't tell the difference between the sick dogs and the healthy dogs. By the end of 30 days, it was a double-blind placebo test. So super fun for us to go through that study. And then we have NRF2 activation in a hair care system. Again, first a system that has NRF2 activation that is clean. So I mentioned our True Science skincare, and now I'm mentioning our True Science hair care. And so for those of you who are looking for clean products, what I love about these 2 systems is you can go onto an app called Think Dirty, and you can see that our products score from a 0 to a 2, which is the best that you can score. So this system scores from a 0 to a 12, 12 being toxic. Get it out of your house. Do not use it anymore, okay? And so ours score is 0, 1, or 2. And so it's just wonderful to know that you have things that your children can use, that you yourself can use, that you know is not putting more toxic burden on your body with your daily regimens. And so our skin and our hair make up so much of our body, protecting us on intruders that are trying to come in. And so it's nice that we have systems that can help balance that out. So with this, we have shiny hair, we have thicker looking hair. It's awesome. A shampoo, a conditioner, and then a scalp serum. No hormones. So you don't have to worry about if you're pregnant and want to use it or you have children in the house. Again, just wonderful. And then our last but not least by any stretch of the matter is our Axio, NRF2 activation for our brain. And I will tell you, I've never done an energy drink in my life. I was truly nervous when they said that they were coming out with an energy drink. And what I wish we would have just called it is brain food, because that's what it is. There's activated B vitamins, quercetin, DMAE, L-theanine. These are ingredients that our brain and our nervous system need in order to function properly. They cross the blood-brain barrier and helps our nervous system. And the pine bark in there is the NRF2 activator. And so one is caffeinated and one is decaffeinated, and it's only 100 milligrams of caffeine, so less than a cup of coffee. So you're not getting the jitters, especially because there's L-theanine in there, which is helping balance it out. So you also can use this as pre and post workout. It has the BSCG seal of approval on it. And then what we've also done is we've used it in kids so that they have something healthy to drink that can help with their brain and their mental clarity, their mood. Instead to take, something like an ADHD type of medication. And so on the right-hand side here, you see just after a week of activating the NRF2 system, he's able to just sit down and do his spelling. I mean, what a gift that is to be able to just allow your brain to function like its potential it has been given. So that is our NRF2 products in a nutshell. So I'm going to leave you with this quote because I love that we have so much science and we have so many different universities and research universities that are coming out with the potential of this pathway and explaining it in more than one term. And this summarizes it for me really well. And this is what Oregon State University is saying. When it finds a problem, NRF2 essentially goes back to the cellular nucleus and rings the alarm bell where it can turn on up to 200 genes that are responsible for cell repair, detoxification of carcinogens, protein and lipid metabolism, antioxidant protection, and other actions. In the report, the scientists called it a longevity assurance factor. How exciting is that this was published before the NIA stated that we extended lifespan. So we are having validation from multiple sources on what this pathway can do and just the potential that we have to help prevent and use as therapy. Just incredible here. So just if you're thinking, okay, I'm excited, how do I get this product? I'm just going to let you know there are some ways of getting your product for free. We call them bundles. And the neat part is if you add different things to it, it ships for free. We don't ship the bundle for free and then charge you for shipping on, let's say Axio. It all ships together, and that's wonderful. And those of you who would love to order, our customers, you guys get the same price as we who are doing this as a business. So you don't have to become part of the business to get wholesale, which is just incredible. There's no sign-up fee. There's no cancellation fee. There is a subscription that you can manage and you can change the date, and you can do it all from the computer or your phone or a phone call if those of you love to use the phone still. I love using the phone still. And you can even click on a button from the website and do that back and forth messaging that way. So that is just so incredible that our company has done that. And for those of you who are Rolodexing names and going, oh my gosh, if this is real, that was what I was thinking at first. I need to tell this to this person and this person and this person. And so there is a business opportunity for those of you who are wanting to look and wanting a plan B that maybe becomes a plan A. For us, we were excited because my husband and I, 5 years ago, were starting to look at what we wanted to do when he retired. Because last year was his 20-year mark and he could retire, and we wanted to have a franchise up and running that he could take over. So we are blessed that we decided to try this out as we were able to retire him last year. And so this is some of the packs that you can get. It's a one-time purchase that you do not have to keep purchasing this, and it is stacked with product. $50 is for the business aspect of it, and till the end of this month of June, it is actually being waived. So that's really neat for those who are wanting to jump on board with our business. And so, like, I'll tell you, the Platinum Pack at $12.50, you're getting about $1,700 worth of product in there, or value, because they also throw in a ticket for our types of training that we have. And it's a franchise in a box, and you get the website that you don't have to do any of the work. The company gives you a beautiful website to use and all these marketing materials, and you get a wonderful team to team up with. So those of you who are interested in more information there, please get back to the person who invited you to this webinar. And then I've just got a few other slides, because I love when people really understand the heart of this company, and those of us who choose to do like these types of webinars and speak. And I learned a term last year that is so important. Live a legacy, don't just leave a legacy. And so our company does so many things to help the world where they can't afford a $40 bottle of Protandim. We go out and do Project Smile. We do building of homes in Mexico. I got to take my family and do it this past Christmas time. And this really helped us, doing this LifeVantage. My husband and I started a 501c3 last year. And so it's just really neat to meet like-minded people who want to go out and change the world. We have been blessed, so we want to go out and bless the world. And so I love showing this slide, because it shows so many of the other nonprofits that are funded, that are supported by people in our company as well as our company. We are a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ. So those of you who are business savvy, just know that those are important terms for us to go over as well. So I'm going to end our time here, and I would love for you to just get back to the person who invited you to this presentation. I thank you for giving me time tonight. Hopefully you've learned something that can help you slow down that aging process. And so go and have a blessed evening.